There is a strange kind of exhaustion spreading through modern life. It is not simply the exhaustion of working too much. It is not only the exhaustion of sleeping too little. And it is not always the exhaustion of money, loneliness, or ambition. It is the exhaustion of performing that you are fine, performing that you are kind, performing that you are calm, performing that you are professional, performing that you agree when deep inside you do not, performing that you care when in truth you only want the conversation to end. By 2026, human beings are no longer living in just one social world. We are living inside many versions of society at the same time. One version on social media, one version at work, one version with family, one version with friends, one version in romantic relationships, and then there is another version, the quiet version, the exhausted version, the real self that appears only when no one is watching. The problem is this: the deeper we move into digital culture, the more we are trained to build an image rather than build a character. A person can look thoughtful online, yet feel empty in real life. A person can speak beautifully about healing, wisdom, and self-awareness, yet lack the courage to say one honest sentence in a personal relationship. A person can have a polished profile, a clean public image, and a polite way of speaking, while inwardly collapsing under the pressure of maintaining a self that has been designed too carefully. This is the crisis of social performance. Not just performance at work, but performance in how we appear to others. We must know what to say, how to react, when to smile, when to stay silent, how to sound empathetic, how to seem agreeable. We cannot be too honest because honesty may be seen as rude. We cannot be too quiet because silence may be seen as cold. We cannot be too different because difference may be treated as arrogance. And slowly, social life becomes a stage. Each person becomes a part-time actor, except the performance lasts almost all day. The psychological burden of always appearing polite. We often think politeness is a virtue, and it is. Politeness matters, but there is something very different from politeness. It is socially accepted falseness. You do not tell the truth, not because you are kind, but because you are afraid of disappointing someone. You do not say no, not because you are generous, but because you fear being judged. You do not express your real opinion, not because you are humble, but because you are afraid of being excluded. You keep meaningless small talk alive, not because you are present, but because you do not have the courage to end it. The psychological burden is this: every day you calculate too much. Will this sentence make them uncomfortable? Will refusing this invitation make me look selfish? Will saying I dislike something make me sound negative? Will admitting I am not okay make me look weak? The more you calculate, the more confused your mind becomes. The more confused your mind becomes, the more disconnected you become from yourself. After a while, you no longer know what you truly think. You only know what you are supposed to say to keep things smooth. But this false smoothness comes at a high price. It costs you inner peace. And this is where Stoicism becomes extremely relevant. The Stoics did not teach us to become cold. They did not teach us to become harsh, rigid, or proud of hurting people with the truth. They taught something deeper. If you want to live freely, you must first live close to the truth. The ancient Greeks had a powerful word, Aletheia. Aletheia can be understood as truth, that is not hidden. Not truth as a weapon to win arguments, not truth as a hammer to strike another person, but truth as a way of being. Living without excessive concealment, without excessive decoration, without constantly lying to yourself, without allowing the opinions of the crowd to decide your inner worth. In a society where everyone is busy constructing an image, Aletheia becomes a weapon against social exhaustion, a weapon that helps a person return to a simpler, clearer, and more stable life. The Stoic framework for naked truth. Epictetus, one of the most important Stoic philosophers, taught that people are disturbed not by events themselves, but by the judgments they make about those events. A criticism does not injure you by itself. What injures you is the belief that criticism determines your value. An uncomfortable look does not destroy you. What destroys you is giving that look the power to govern your mind. One person disliking you is not a tragedy. The real tragedy is betraying yourself in order to be accepted by that person. For Epictetus, freedom begins when we separate what is within our control from what is not. The opinions of others are not within your control. Their reactions are not within your control. Whether they understand you, like you, approve of you, or accept you is not fully in your hands. What is in your control is this: whether you speak truthfully, whether you act with integrity, whether you preserve your dignity, whether you betray your own conscience. This is the core. The Stoic does not seek comfort by pleasing everyone. The Stoic seeks peace by refusing to betray what is right within himself. But this distinction must be made very carefully. Living truthfully does not mean speaking brutally without discipline. Some people use truth as an excuse to be cruel. They say, "I am just being honest," but in reality, they lack self-control. They say unnecessary things. They cause unnecessary harm. They create unnecessary conflict. That is not Stoic truth. That is impulsiveness disguised as virtue. Disciplined transparency is different. Disciplined transparency means you tell the truth, but not to humiliate another person. You refuse, but without insulting the person who asked. You express a boundary, but without turning yourself into a victim. You acknowledge emotion, but without placing all responsibility on the other person. For example, instead of saying, "I'm bored with this conversation," you might say, "I think I should stop here. I do not have the energy to continue this conversation in a meaningful way right now." Instead of saying, "You are bothering me," you might say, "I need some space at the moment. I will respond when my mind is clearer." Instead of saying, "I do not like you," you might say, "I do not think there is enough alignment between us to continue becoming closer." Truth does not have to be sharp, but truth must be clear. A mature person does not use truth to win. A mature person uses truth to become free, free from pretending, free from misleading others with vague signals, free from maintaining relationships built on false expectations. From this perspective, truth is no longer a burden. Truth becomes a tool for personal freedom. Every time you speak truth with discipline, you remove one layer of complexity from your life. You do not need to remember what you pretended to be. You do not need to maintain a false story. You do not need to live with two faces. You do not need to smile at someone you secretly resent. You do not need to accept commitments you already know you will regret. Life becomes lighter, not because everyone likes you, but because you no longer need everyone to like you. the discomfort of radical sincerity. But telling the truth is not easy. If it were easy, the world would not be full of fake conversations. The moment you begin living more honestly, your body may react. Your heart beats faster, your throat tightens, your hands grow cold, your chest feels tense. You fear the silence. You fear the other person's eyes. You fear that you have just broken something. This is a normal biological response. Human beings are social animals. For thousands of years, being rejected by the group could mean danger. So when you say something that risks disappointing another person, your nervous system may misunderstand the moment as a threat. You are not merely speaking one honest sentence. You are resisting an ancient biological program, the need to be accepted. That is why radical sincerity often feels uncomfortable. Not because it is wrong, but because it breaks familiar social scripts. Normally, when someone asks, "How have you been?" you answer, "I'm good," even when you are not good. When someone invites you somewhere, you say, "I'll see," even when you already know you do not want to go. When a coworker presents a weak idea, you say, "That's interesting," even when you know the idea is not practical. All of these sentences create a layer of social padding. They make life smoother, but if you live your whole life through these layers of padding, you will never touch the truth of any relationship. One of the greatest challenges of honest living is learning to survive the pause. The pause after you say, "I do not want to participate in this." The pause after you say, "I disagree." The pause after you say, "I need to be honest, I no longer feel connected to this relationship." That pause is deeply uncomfortable. Many people cannot tolerate it, so they immediately over-explain. They apologize too much. They take back what they said. They make a joke to soften the tension, or they betray themselves by returning to the old performance. But if you want to practice truth in the Stoic sense, you must learn to stand still inside the silence. Do not attack. Do not defend yourself unnecessarily. Do not over-explain. Just remain there, calm, clear, responsible. One practical technique is to use short sentences. The more tense the moment becomes, the less you should talk. For example, "I understand this may disappoint you, but my answer is no. I cannot commit to this. I need to be honest. This does not fit me. I respect you, but I do not agree." Then stop. Let the other person process. Let yourself remain present without running away from discomfort. The second technique is to separate guilt from responsibility. You may feel guilty when you say no, but guilt does not prove that you did something wrong. Sometimes it only proves that you are not used to having boundaries. You may feel awkward when you tell the truth, but awkwardness does not prove that truth is wrong. It only proves that the relationship has become used to ambiguity. The third technique is to prepare disciplined, honest sentences before you need them. Do not wait until a stressful moment to search for language. Have a few sentences ready. "I need more time to think before I answer." "I do not want to say yes just to make you happy and then fail to follow through." "I am not sure I am the right person for this. I would rather be honest than maintain fake politeness." These sentences are not rude, they are not cold, they are not cruel, but they cut through falseness. And something strange happens when you begin living this way. Some relationships disappear quickly. People who only liked your agreeable version may become uncomfortable. People who benefited from your lack of boundaries may say you have changed. People who only wanted to hear what pleased them may leave. At first, this may hurt, but later you realize something important. You did not lose the people who truly belonged in your life. You only lost relationships that were maintained by pretending. Transparency is like strong light. It does not destroy what is solid. It only reveals what was already decaying. Building stronger human connections. A common misunderstanding is that truth will make you lonely. In reality, truth may remove many weak relationships, but it also allows you to build a small number of much stronger ones. When you remove falseness, you create a powerful attraction effect. People with strong moral character are usually not afraid of truth. They may not always agree with you, but they respect clarity. They do not need you to flatter them. They do not need you to perform. They do not need you to agree with everything they say. They simply need to know that your words carry weight. In a world where everyone talks too much, a trustworthy person is someone who speaks less but speaks truthfully. In an environment where everyone is building an image, a person of value is someone who does not need to hide too much. This is the foundation of trust. Trust does not come from always being pleasant. Trust comes from knowing that someone will not deceive you. No fake praise, no careless promises, no agreement just to avoid tension. No false closeness while inwardly carrying contempt. Vulnerability also plays a crucial role. Many people think vulnerability is weakness, but in a defensive society, the person who can speak honestly about emotions, limits, and mistakes is often the strongest person in the room. Vulnerability does not mean uncontrolled emotional dumping. It does not mean placing your pain onto everyone around you. It does not mean making your suffering another person's burden. Disciplined vulnerability is the ability to say, "I was wrong. I do not know. I am afraid. I need help. I am not capable of doing this well at this moment. I tried to appear fine, but I am not fine." These sentences are simple, but they require character. Because when you speak this way, you place truth above your personal image, and that forces others to raise the standard of honesty in themselves. In the workplace of 2026, this is especially important. Imagine a team building an AI automation project. Everyone wants to appear confident. Everyone says the timeline is fine. Everyone says the system is almost ready. Everyone says the problems are small. But in reality, the data is not clean. The prompts are unstable. The API costs are exceeding the budget. The output quality is not yet usable. If the team continues to maintain a false appearance of professionalism, the project will die quietly. But if one person has the courage to say, "We are deceiving ourselves. This system is not ready to scale," that sentence may create discomfort. It may make the room silent. It may cause some people to become defensive. But it can save the project. In high-risk environments, truth is not a luxurious moral preference. It is a survival condition. The same is true in romantic relationships. If two people avoid truth because they fear hurting each other, they do not protect love. They only protect a peaceful surface. One person does not say they feel lonely. The other does not say they feel disconnected. Both continue being polite. They continue asking questions. They continue going to dinner. They continue posting pictures. But inwardly, the relationship is decaying. Truth may hurt in the short term, but dishonesty damages everything in the long term. One honest sentence today may create conflict, but 1 year of silence may create a distance that can no longer be repaired. Friendship is the same. A real friend is not someone who always agrees with you. A real friend is someone who respects you enough to say what you need to hear. Not to control you, not to appear superior, but because they consider your character more important than your temporary comfort. That is the kind of strong human connection modern society is missing. Not many, but real. Not loud, but deep. Not performed, but durable. Legacy and the nature of truth. In the end, the question is not, will honesty make me more liked? The better question is, if I keep living falsely, what kind of person will I become? Every time you tell a lie, even a small one, you add another layer of noise to your life. You must remember what you said. You must maintain a certain image. You must hide certain emotions. You must avoid certain people. You must continue a story that is not real. The human mind was not designed to carry too much falseness. It becomes confused. It becomes tired. It loses direction. By contrast, truthful living simplifies decision-making. You no longer have to ask, will this make me look good? You ask, is this true? You no longer have to ask, what will people think? You ask, is this aligned with the character I want to build? You no longer have to ask, should I pretend a little longer to keep the peace? You ask, what is the cost of pretending this time? When truth becomes a principle, life gains a center. You may still be wrong. You may still be clumsy. You may still be misunderstood, but you are no longer fragmented. You do not need one face for one group and another face for another group. You become one consistent human being, and over time, that consistency becomes your personal reputation. A true reputation is not built by beautiful introductions. It is built by the number of times others witness you refusing to betray your principles, when betrayal would be convenient, when you dare to say no, when you dare to admit fault, when you dare to speak truth in a room full of people pretending, when you refuse to sell your conscience for short-term approval. That is the legacy of truth. Not a perfect image, but a life with weight. A consistently honest person does not always need to explain who they are. The way they live speaks for them. The 1-week Stoic Filter Challenge. For the next 7 days, try a simple practice. Call it the Stoic filter. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this true? Is this necessary? Can this be said with self-control? Is my silence wisdom or fear? Is my speech courage or impulse? Not every truth needs to be spoken, but the truths that need to be spoken should not be buried forever simply because you fear discomfort. For 1 week, stop saying yes when your real answer is no. Stop saying you are fine when you are not fine. Stop giving fake praise. Stop making careless promises. Stop extending conversations where you are no longer truly present. Stop hiding your limits just to be seen as easy to deal with. But do this with discipline. Do not attack. Do not judge brutally. Do not turn truth into a weapon to shame others. Just become clearer, more truthful, more calm. You will notice something interesting. Some people will become uncomfortable. Some people may leave. Some people will try to pull you back into your old version, but others will begin to respect you more. They will realize that when you say yes, it is a real yes. When you say no, it is a clear no. When you stay silent, It is not cowardice. When you speak, it is not performance. And most importantly, you will begin to respect yourself more. That is the deepest reward of truth. Not being loved by everyone, but being alone with yourself without feeling that you have betrayed who you are. In an age where everyone is trying to become an attractive image, living truthfully becomes an act of rebellion. In an age where everyone is optimizing how they appear, preserving your character becomes a victory. And in a world full of noise, the person who lives close to truth will always possess something rare, inner peace, not because their life has no conflict, but because inside themselves, the war is over.